All right. So I'm gonna show you guys my strategy and a couple things that I like to use. I don't know if you guys all know this, but you guys actually all have access to the Go Liberty, which is kind of like Hourglass or Cash Trap, which tells you when to buy and sell in the market. So let's see here. All right. So does everybody have a trading view? Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. All right, cool. All right, so I want everyone to pull up the pair. Hold on 1 second. All right, everybody pull up Euro GBP. Now, when you guys pull up Euro GBP, just make sure it's always the one that says Owanda. No, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna change this real quick. All right. So first thing I want you guys to go ahead and do is go ahead and add the same time intervals. So go ahead and make sure you guys click that down arrow and star and click 1 minute, 3 minute, and 5 minute. All right. So after you guys do that, I want you guys to add these indicators on your guys' chart as well. So press the little FX button at the top and then type in these 3. Make sure you guys could star them if you want, but just make sure you guys click them so they show up on your chart. And then after everyone has this on their chart, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat so I can know that everyone has it. Or actually, before you guys put a 1 in the chat, I need to make sure that you're on a 5-minute chart and that you guys are seeing these red and blue kind of like tick bars. No, I have a basic version. I think whenever I remember when I was having trainings with other people, they had to make another trading view account because they weren't able to add all the indicators, but I only have the basic one. Yeah, no problem. So just let me know, put a 1 in the chat when you guys have a DMI stochastic, Stotch RSI, and the Evan Cabral binary strategy too. Yes, to add all of these indicators. What up, Steve-O? If not, if you guys aren't, since this is recorded, you guys will actually, I'll send it over. So then you guys will get the recorded version of this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and kind of explain what everything is, and then I'll explain kind of what exactly I'm looking for. So first of all, the red tick bars up here are showing you resistance. So that means the highest point that market was touching and kind of bouncing off and then rejecting and bouncing off, my bad, and then going back down. Now the blue ones are showing you your support, which is the lowest points of what market was touching and then coming back up. So I always start with the very first red and blue bars. So what I'm going to do is go over here to our second trend line tool and click the horizontal line. Now I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark this very first blue tick mark right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the color. I don't want it to make it red or green because you guys will see with your guys' candles unless you guys changed it. The number where the price is at in market is going to be red if it's a down, if the market's going down, and then it's going to be green if market's going up. So I'm going to go ahead and change my support to purple. So now I see that this is kind of a price point at 279. That price is rejecting and bouncing back up. Now, same thing, I'm going to do the same thing with the first red tick mark up here. Just going to mark the very top of it. I'm going to change my resistance to orange. All right. So now this is at 336. So pretty much what I'm doing, first of all, I only like to do this, I like to call it the ping pong method. Now I like to do this in markets that are consolidation. So that means that the market's not in an uptrend and it's not in a downtrend. So you guys can see that right here, Euro GBP is kind of staying stagnant in this area right here. So what I'm doing is I'm pretty much trapping market in this area in between the orange and the purple line that I have here. And now on a 5-minute chart, I'm going to go to the 3-minute chart after I mark my support and my resistance. So now I go to the 3-minute chart. And what I'm looking for is to see if my rule is the 10 candles. I like to see at least 10 candles staying within my marked purple and orange lines here. So currently we can see that market is already disrespecting it with these two candles down here. But for instance, if these two candles weren't here, I'm just going to kind of show you guys what I'd be looking for. So if these two candles weren't right there, we'd be looking to see if any of the candles over here were disrespecting the purple or the orange line. So you can kind of see after here, all of these candles are pretty much staying above except for whenever we get to over here. So right here, there's a whole lot of candles that are kind of staying within this area. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to go ahead and trap market. So now what I would do, since I already see that market is kind of disrespecting right here, is I'm going to go ahead and drop this down to the next tick mark that it's hitting right here that we see right here. So I'm going to drop this down here. And if you can see, if you make your candles a little bit bigger, the wick is touching that blue bar. So I'm going to go ahead and place it at the bottom of that wick of the candle. And now we see that that is at 262. Now, some people, different educators, they like to go ahead and mark the body of the candles. Me personally, I like to go ahead and mark the wick and the body just because this is just a point of just a better entry since we just know that price wicked all the way down here. So I'll go ahead. Let's see here if it's going to be a green candle. While this kind of sets up right here, actually, I'm going to explain the DMI and the Stotch RSI. So with marking the support, what I'm looking for is exactly what the Stotch RSI, the DMI Stotch is looking like right here. So it's below the floor and it looks like it's starting to kind of creep up a little bit. Now, same thing with the Stotch RSI. You guys can see that now that red line has been on top. You can see that now that blue line is starting to poke on top, right? So this is looking like it's starting to set up with set up for a 3-minute buy at this 262. Now, since this is a green candle, I will go ahead and mark the body of the last red candle here. Hold on 1 second. All right, so I would mark that body as well. But since this DMI Stotch isn't breaking this floor right here, what I would want is to see that this blue line after this 1 minute is counting down on this 3-minute chart. I would want to see on this Stotch RSI, this blue line fully crossing that red line and pointing up here and kind of breaking this floor as well, this line. And then I would also want this DMI. So it's already starting to point up. Like earlier, it wasn't looking like this. So now we want it to start breaking this red line and start pointing up. So let's go ahead and see after this 30 seconds if it starts to set up. So this is why I don't like to mark the body of the candles. You guys can see that it's already disrespecting that one. So I'm going to delete it. So it's really just looking like a good setup right now for a 3-minute buy on Euro GBP at 262. This blue line is showing you that it's a support. Kind of go back. I'm going to show you guys another example since it's not too close, where I can show you guys where price is bouncing. But boom, look. So now the DMI Stotch is actually setting up beautifully. So it's giving you a B for buy. It's breaking that floor that I was talking about. And now let's go ahead and look at the Stotch RSI. So the Stotch RSI is still below water. I mean, the blue line is still over the red, but it's not really pointing all the way up that I would want, like the way that I would want it to look. So me personally, I think it's still kind of setting up, even though that it looks like on the Stotch. I want it to be set up within this DMI Stotch and the Stotch RSI. So how this is looking right here, this is fine. Now I want this one to be breaking the floor as well, and that blue line to be pointing directly up how this one is. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to another example here of a market that's in consolidation. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Now I also, one thing I also want to add is the reason why I have the 1, 3, and the 5 up here is because, so I always start and I chart up on the 5-minute chart, right? Now, after I chart up the support and the resistance, the first blue and the first red tick mark, I go ahead and go to the 3, see if any lines are disrespecting it. Now, after the 3, I go back to the 5. Now, if you guys look at the DMI and the Stotch on the 3-minute, I actually want them to kind of set up on both of the 3-minute and the 5-minute. So you can actually see that it's kind of doing the same thing that it was before it's set up on the 3-minute on the 5-minute now. Now that DMI is below water right now, we needed to go ahead and break that floor and start pointing up. Same thing with the Stotch. It's below water right now. We needed to go ahead and start pointing up how it's kind of jumping a little bit. We want it to point up and start jumping up here below or above this floor line here. So it's actually still looking to set up. So now here on a 5-minute chart, it's counting down for 5 minutes. So let's see if it changes between after this 30 seconds. But I literally want it to match up on both. Looks like it's still setting up on the 3. All right, we got 10 seconds left. So if you took it on the last candle, you still would have cleared even if you touched it when it wicked down here. So it's been playing up here. But all right, now the 3 minutes refreshed. This is pointing all the way up. Let's go look at the 5. All right, look, now the 5 is setting up. It's giving you the B as well. It broke the floor. It's pointing up. The stop RSI is setting up kind of how the 3 was earlier. Now we just want it to point up a little bit more. But since it's already crossing that red line, this is a good indication that I can go in for a 3-minute buy. Now I also like looking at the currency strength meter. So I go look at the chart and go look at Euro GBP. Now GBP is just slightly stronger than Euro. I still would probably go ahead and just wait. Setting up on the 3, it looks a little bit better on the 3 now. With the 3-minute, I'm gonna go ahead and take a 3-minute trade. On the 5-minute chart, if it's setting up better on the 5-minute chart, I'm gonna go ahead and set up take a 5-minute trade. But what's it called here? I just cleared 2. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. But look, you guys could literally setting up beautifully on the 5-minute now, setting up on the 3-minute. Like you guys could be catching if it comes back to 274, what I do is I go back to the last candle. So the last candle, I'll hover to where the body is. So you guys can see right here, that dotted line, I'll hover, and then it says the entry over here at the side. So it says 274. If market were to go ahead and retrace back down to 274, you guys can go in for a 3-minute entry or even a 5-minute entry. But this is actually perfect. Like, I'm glad that I didn't have to search around like this setup both on the 5-minute and on the 3-minute, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now, I didn't exactly break the floor that I was talking about, but that blue line, I like that space in between the blue line and the red. Like, it's showing me that it's kind of pulling in a strong upwards trend. Same thing if you guys see this space in between right here with the red line and the blue. You guys see how like big this space is right here? And then you guys can kind of see if I go back, let's see a smaller space. I mean, a lot of it's kind of strong. I'm gonna show you guys kind of like what I mean by that space. So if you guys kind of match it up right here, if I go down with my cursor and I see where this red line is starting to cross this blue line right here. If I take my cursor up, it also follows this DMI stotch, right? That's actually giving you a sell that's pointing down. If you take your cursor all the way up, it's starting from this red candle, and you guys can see that space right here is telling you it's a strong trend of a downtrend. And boom, look at the candles, guys. It's a strong downtrend. Boom, 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 boom. Showing you, I mean, it's just underwater right here on the DMI, but on this DMI stotch, you can see that space until right here. Now that blue is crossing. But I know I only got 7 minutes and 25 seconds left. Does anybody have any questions, or did that make a little bit of sense? Hope that wasn't too confusing for y'all. I'm gonna show you guys kind of one more time. So I'm gonna start with the very first red and blue tick mark. Now this one's a little bit short, guys. I'm gonna just stick with the one that we had up here. Now you guys could kind of mark within if you guys see that mark is kind of staying short with here, but kind of see that market's more so staying consolidated like this. So it's not so much in a small area, it's kind of large like this. So I'm going to start with this very first blue tick mark. You can kind of see it's actually both of these blue tick marks. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Purple, that's at 261. I'm going to go ahead and mark the red one. Change that color to orange. All right. So now we trap this market in this area right here, in between this orange and purple line. So now literally the reason why I call it ping pong, guys, is because you guys could literally take entries, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Now I like to go ahead and also, what you guys can do is, if you guys see here, there's not really another blue tick mark beneath this one unless we kind of go over here. Then we can kind of see in past time that there's a blue tick mark down here. But you can kind of also see that there's blue tick marks within. So there's good prices where you can kind of trap market smaller instead of kind of waiting for it to all the way hit this resistance and hitting this support. If you kind of see, like for instance, if this wasn't here right here, you can kind of see that this right here is only hitting right here, then it bounces back up. And you can see in past time, market's not really dropping below. So I could mark these inside, I would mark these inside blue bars. But for right now, we're already seeing that market's hitting this blue support. So I'm not gonna mark another support, I'll keep just one, but you guys can see that there's red tick marks above. So I could go ahead and mark a second tick mark. So what I'm gonna do is mark the next highest, our next red tick mark closest to our orange line, and we see it's this one right here. I'm gonna mark that one. So now we have an entry at 338 and 336. Now that's really close. That's only 2 pips away. So I'm not gonna actually go ahead and mark that one. I have marked the next highest. So boom, we see this one right here. Now if you guys see before I mark it, there's a tick mark right here and a tick mark right here. So this is showing you this is two points that market hit, and 2 times that market hit this price point and rejected and then bounce back down. So this is just a good indication. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that right here. Now, the reason why I do that is, let's say market just keeps on going up and it disrespects this 336. Well, now we know it's working towards the 342 area, and we can go ahead and delete this 336, and we would take the next entry if it's setting up on the DMI and the stotch at that 342. So same thing with, you could do the same thing with the support if there is one below. But if not, I just keep one. No. If you guys have any questions or if you guys want to go over it again, I'm definitely down to do a training like I told. Should I tell everybody? I'm down to help everybody. I'm not just down to help my squad. Anybody who needs help, just hit me up a couple times if you need to. If I don't hit you back the first time, hit me up again or call me, because calling me is honestly going to get you the answer quicker. But that's it, guys. That's all I really got. Does anybody have any questions? I'll drop it in the chat. Who's going to Dallas? Going to Dallas. We in there. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. 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 Y'all got a lot of people going. Damn. Y'all are mobbing, huh? Mobbing. That's what's up.
Slim, I'm sorry. I do have a question, sis. Literally, first of all, I'm so grateful for you to be on this call, sis. I literally just got from work. I was showering and I pulled up my laptop and everything. I just want to know, because I do see on your chart, I believe it was the